Okay, I'm back. So let's go to another comment. Oh, I was listening to this guy, Zero Fidelity. He kind of come off like you described. This comment says, yeah, I'll have to check that out, man. I don't know. Interesting. Interessant. Thanks for the comment, bro. Richard Wilson. Thank you, Richard. Yes, I was searching for I was telling you in my previous video, I was searching for this British chap who reviews used equipment, or I should say more properly, vintage equipment. I really like that guy, and Mr. Wilson came up with it. You were the first to come up with it. You found him, man. Calvin from London, Stereo Review X. I like that guy. He's going to be in my my audio personality Olympic. I'm not going to call it talking head. Talking head has a negative connotation. I want this to be positive. It's going to be Audio Personality Olympics. I need more nominations. They're all going to be in there. Zero. Why would you call it zero? Why would you call your name Zero? Zero means nothing. Anyway, no fidelity. No, zero fidelity. No fidelity. No fidelity means faithfulness. No faithfulness. I wonder how people get usernames. I did a thing about how people come up with speaker names and equipment names, but how do you get usernames? You know how I got my username? Stereo Police. You might think it's obvious, but it's not. Well, the stereo part, you might think, well, I'm into audio equipment, and the police part, like I'm some kind of audio police officer. I go around and, you know, check for violations of the law or something, but that's not how it happened. I was looking for a username many, many, many moons ago. And at the time when I got my username, I was actually an auxiliary police officer, for real. So that was part of it, but also it was a what's the word for it? Oh shit, here's my migraine working. Portmanteau, or what's the word when you put two names together, like spork? No, it's not. Contraction. There's a word for it when you put two names together. Portmanteau is spork, but contraction, it's not that. It's not a what's the name for that when you put words, when you put an abbreviation together to make a word? It's not that. Well, anyway, Stereo Police ultimately was putting together the names of two of my favorite bands, Stereo Lab and The Police. That's where it came from. I got that username long before I started doing any videos on YouTube. It just happened to work quite well when I started doing reviews on YouTube. Isn't that interesting? I don't think I ever talked about it. Maybe I did. I don't know. All right. I gotta put the phone down for a second. Hang on. I'm down to my cigar band. Hey man, if my cigar runs out, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I stopped talking. Okay, ZuluMax. I think this guy's into Zoo speakers. That's why. That's where that comes from. I like this guy's cool, man. ZuluMax 1, you've helped me a lot. You've helped me a lot. You are helpful as hell, courteous, excellent commenter, helpful as heck. I've learned a lot from you, and I appreciate it. And you say, love the porch chats. It does feel like I'm there with you, talking to you. Bring Jasper out to the porch. Many of us love your animals, watching the horses walk about, riding around. John Deere, virtual thrill. Well, that's a positive comment, and I've gotten a few of those, and that's the kind of stuff that keeps me going. Sometimes I wonder if I'm just talking to myself here and slowly disintegrating into insanity. Spiraling into insanity here. But I'm not, because if that's the case, I would have been fired from my job. I'm still teaching a lot of patent law classes. 35 USC 101A. I'm 35 USC 101, 35 USC 112A, written description, enablement, 112D, 112F, US restriction practice, lack of unity. I have modules on Ex parte Schulhauser, In re Vogel. I've got a lot of classes I teach. And I love teaching. Lots. I mean, I've got, the list goes on, and I love teaching. I've got a video to recommend to you guys if you do any teaching. I've got to pull that video. If you do any teaching and you do presentations and you have to present with a whiteboard or PowerPoint, I've got a video to recommend to you. I do that quite a bit, and I've got a really good video to recommend. I don't have it here, but I need to pull that up. And so if I was spiraling into insanity, I think that would have shown up at some point, and it hasn't yet, so I think I'm okay. I think I'm grounded. But thank you, ZuluMax, man. You're the man. You've helped me a lot. Appreciate it. This fellow right here. Machete? Is that how you spell machete? I never was the best speller. Says, 8KUHD, says, I can understand your sentiment about not wanting to disparage somebody, but I think it would have been helpful to me if you had named them. That way I could have ran my own evaluation to see if I concur with you. You know what? I agree with you to an extent. Whenever I hear someone provide an opinion of something, I always want to find out for myself. And you're on the right track. You want to find out for yourself. Don't believe someone else. I agree with you. But I said to you all from the beginning, consider this a collage, an evaluation of a collage of a lot of these reviewers. Because I don't want to disparage or besmirch a particular person. I'm not into that. It's not what I want to do. This is not personal. I don't want to personalize this. So I don't want to give you, I don't want to tell you who it is, because I want to keep things more positive than negative. I was just venting the other night. So, but I totally agree with your sentiment. You're 100% correct. Don't take my word for it. Just listen to me. Hopefully it made you think. It made you think, so that when you're watching reviewers and you're watching these reviews and you're watching personalities and people, just keep this in the back of your mind, so that you can do some critical listening of reviewers yourself to see where they're coming from. Just stuff to make you think. But I couldn't agree with you more, my friend. This guy here. Oh, Axeman. It's another guy I like. Axeman. Good stuff, man. Good comments, always. Good subscriber. I think you're a subscriber. I like this guy. Let me read. I totally get what you're saying. I have several hobbies: cycling, photography, and stereo equipment. You could interchange bike reviews with stereo with cameras. They are all the same. Cameras are the worst. My favorite, when they show you a bike and then proceed to sit in front of it blocking the view. Right quote, right, end quote, quote, okay, end quote, are the verbal equivalent of waving your hands around needlessly as if they are making a point. Anyhow, I could rant about this. Ellipsis. Beginning each sentence with, quote, end quote, is another one. Okay, well, not sure if this helps, but for the FaceTime videos that are informative, I find I learn more from the guys restoring old equipment, and he gives a name of a guy. Electronics, old and new, my M something, I find I pick up more from these guys, and it says read more. I didn't print that, but listen, right on. What did I want to say about that? Yeah, you know what? I'm guilty of some of that stuff. I mean, I use some crutch words every now and then. I try not to. I try to be cognizant of that. I try not to do the ums. I try. I guess we all get it. It gets in our brains, and we do it subconsciously. But the right thing, that right thing, right, there's a comment, right, right, that right thing really bothers me, because, you know, it's one thing to say but when you say right, that just sounds so arrogant. That one's got to go. We have to eradicate that right thing out of out of the verbal discourse, out of extemporaneous speaking, out of public speaking. That's got to go. We got to wipe that one, man. But you're right. Or, sorry, you are correct. I agree with you when it comes to finicky, nitpicky, hobby guys. Yeah, I think that's probably true. You get a lot of these guys who are elitists. And they get ultra jaded. And their self-importance goes through the fucking roof, and they don't even realize it. Because they have no one around to like whack-a-mole. They have no one around to whack them down. And to point out that they're just way through the frickin' roof, arrogance-wise. Either that, or it's just how they are. I don't know. But good point, my friend, Axeman. And I'm doing this because I really appreciate I read your comments. I usually read comments for about 24 or so hours after I post the video. But then after that, I got to get back to work and stuff. I can't keep doing this forever. So if I don't respond to comments, months or years down the road, I can't do it forever. But I read them all for the first 24, 48 hours. Okay. Free indeed. Let me read the comment here. Pretty much agree with you. Scrubbed all the reviewers. Huh? Best upgrade ever made. My system sounds a whole lot better. Get rid of the itch to spend to reach what will never be in your grasp. But let me paraphrase what I think Free Indeed is saying here, and it's a really, really good point. I think what Free Indeed is saying here, and correct me if I'm wrong, my friend, but it's an excellent point if I got it right. If I didn't get it right, my fault. I apologize. But the point is, this is a matter of philosophy, but I really like this point. I can make a whole video about this. Of all of the mythical, nonsensical, voodoo bullshit, of all of the physical upgrades you can make to your system, a lot of them are bullshit because they're psychological. Perhaps another way to look at it is, instead of thinking that you need to upgrade, you got to realize that maybe you got a good system and things are bringing you down. You got to be happy with what you have. And don't let people bring you down. And maybe a lot of these reviewers are bringing you down and making you feel not content with what you have. And again, I'm not going to talk. I could talk a lot about this, and I'm not going to, but because I need to move on. But maybe the best thing you can do is just ditch a lot of these guys and just be happy with what you have, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to switch to different kinds of audio personalities that are more informative and more, upbeat and more just. I want to get a different kind of information. I don't want to get these ultra finicky guys that make you feel inferior. These elitists. There's so much to this, I'm not even going to approach it right now. But I get your point. Be happy with what you have. And I talked about this in a couple videos ago, about the point of diminishing returns with the ultra expensive gear. But maybe just not listening to some of these arrogant elitists is actually an upgrade to your system. By not downgrading how you feel about things. I don't know if I explained that properly, but I'm going to move on from that. Good damn point. John Olsen, preach it, brother. You're the best. Well, that's a nice, kind, positive, upbeat comment. I'll say it again. It's comments like that that keep me going, that make me feel, that's what gives me a warm fuzzy right there. Thank you. Just knowing that I can sit out here, and I'll say this, it is, I don't know how this comes off to you guys, but it is not easy sitting here by yourself talking into a phone. When I first started making these videos, I would do take after take, and I'd listen to myself and I would cringe, and I still can't listen to my videos. I go back and I listen to them once to make sure I didn't say anything offensive accidentally. I don't mind a curse word here and there, but I don't want to offend. I really, truly don't want to offend anybody. It's not my MO. I'm not that kind of guy. I want to be honest and truthful, but I'm not trying to say something horribly offensive. It's just not me. I got to change my seat. Look at that, man. Oof, good Lord Almighty. That's a barrel fire right there. This thing is radiating. But where was I going with this? But it's not easy, but sometimes when you get someone that writes a comment like Mr. Olsen did there, I appreciate it. Very much so. Okay. Bill D. Let me read this. If you think the top 4 are tiresome, spend two videos on Z reviews. You will want to throw your gear out and take up knitting. I mentioned earlier, I don't know. I think that's the guy with the chubby hand. I'll have to check that out. He says, I like Zero Fidelity, but he has started doing live shows and he seems to be passing the collection plate lately. Sean does have a lot of experience in the industry, though I value his opinions. Steve Guttenberg, is it Gutenberg? Is great, but he hasn't reviewed a product that he doesn't love. Yeah, that's Gutenberg. That's, yeah, that's the 1 video an hour guy. Okay, man. I'm gonna check out. I'll have to check out Z Reviews more. I think I don't remember. I don't sub to that guy. I see some reviews here and there. I'll have to check him out. Take up knitting. You know what I can't take? If he's one of these hyper guys, I can't take the hyper guy. We all, you know, we all have one language processor in our head, and each of our language processors works in different ways. And if something goes wrong with the way information is presented to me, I shut down. I can't take it. And if I can't establish a connection with the speaker in some way, in some good way, it's over for me. Now, if it's a job-related thing and I have to, you know, sit there, I got to sit there. But if it's not a job-related thing, I'm fucking out of there. So if it turns out if it's a hyper guy, and there's a lot of videos on the web. I'm not talking audio. I'm just talking about just on YouTube. And God bless people that make videos, by the way. It's not easy. And anyone that contributes and tries to make a video that's helpful, bless you. Respect for that alone. I'm not criticizing that. It's a contribution. And the fact that you're contributing is a good thing. But sometimes I just can't take it if it's a hyper guy. You know, like watching a car salesman commercial. You know, it's just, I can't take it. I can't describe it. But so I'll have to check that out. I don't know. I'll have to check him out. But okay. Mr. Whittaker, Paul Whittaker. It's great to see another upload. Thank you. Nice, kind, positive comment. I appreciate that. Let's see if that's all I have. I got one more. One more. Hang on a second, I gotta put my phone down. Okay. Akkad. I like this guy. You've been really cool, man. Thanks for commenting on my channel. Let me read what he says. This is one of many, several comments, and he's been really helpful with some information. Good dude. I like you. Let me read this particular comment. He's referring to my video about the talking heads. He says, I think he's figured out who I was referring to. I don't know. But he says, I watched that live stream. I watched all of his stuff. I'm sorry, I wasn't speaking into the phone. He says, Khalid says, I watched that live stream. I watched all of his stuff. Now that I think about it, I think you are right. Those live streams are all very similar and pretty much useless. He's so full of himself, and he thinks he knows a lot, and maybe he does, but he never has more than 2 sentences to say about even the most complex topics. By the way, I don't think, and I'm still quoting Khalid. By the way, I don't think he is one of the big four, or at least he no longer is, which makes me wonder which one of the big four you don't know about, or which ones you are forgetting about. And it says read more. I didn't print it all out here, but I'm gonna burn these. I'm only burning them because I don't want anyone. I read them. I'm done reading them. About Khalid's comment. Yeah, man. If you figured it out, that's cool. Again, I'm just food for thought to make you think as you're watching these guys. But I just wanted to thank you for some of your previous contributions and for helping me out on a couple of things. Thank you, man, and thank you for commenting, and all of you guys. I couldn't print all of them out. I was in a hurry to get to my campsite today, and I just printed a select few out. But my purpose here today is to thank everyone for commenting. I appreciate all of you. Even the critical, oops, my finger's in the way. Even the critical comments I take into consideration. I'm always self-reflecting. I'm always open for improvement. Always. Even the critical comments, if I see something that I need to improve, I'll try to do it. That's what life is, man. If there's a couple of philosophies I have. I'm about to run out of. This is gonna be a long ass video, brothers. Let me hit stop and restart again. Hang on.